no one's gonna save you. This is the falling of the empire. So, Trump's not gonna save you. There's nothing he can do. Like, that's the thing. Like, you can't blame politicians for this, because it's like saying that we can do something about it. Like, this is just a natural course of every economic system that's ever lived. So, what happened? The reason why we're here is we're feeling the symptoms of the rich getting richer and the poor getting more poor. And by poor, everybody but the rich is getting more poor. So we used to, like, produce stuff here, and then the standard of living went up. So if we used to produce, like, steel and appliances, that was, like, our shit. And then they exported all of it, and we just got a fuck ton of gold. Like, so what happens when you get a lot of gold? Well, everybody has a lot of gold, so you start spending money. You don't let that burn a hole in your pocket, right? So you spend. So, like, the guy who's running the steel mills, right? He's making buku bucks. The guys working at the steel mill are now making buku bucks. And so what happens is you get a family of 4, and they, like, the dad makes steel. He should have really just gotten by with 1 card. Well, he can afford 2, so slap 2 on there. He can afford, like, his wife can just wash the clothes like they did before, but instead just get a washing machine. And so now everybody's standard of living is just going crazy. Everybody's just getting to a shit that they don't need. So now our standard of living goes up. That means wages has to go up, right? Because nobody's going to work for somebody who can't provide for your living standard. So wages go up, that's cool. But then it becomes way too expensive to produce stuff here, right? Like, you're not going to... If you could pay somebody else less money to produce the same thing, then you get it at China or India, Thailand, wherever they make stuff right now. And so we stopped producing stuff, but we don't want the economic system to fail, because if you stop producing, you stop getting gold. If you stop getting gold, everybody's economic system fails, right? Like, then you can't afford the second car, because the only people who could afford the second car are probably going to be the rich people, and since they're the only ones buying it, the price of everything's going to go up, like right now, right? Like, the supply of houses hasn't rose, but the only people that can afford houses right now are rich. So then you just make more expensive houses, and houses are just more expensive because only a certain type of person can afford it. And if you want to get it sold, like, if it's not getting sold, you're losing money. So you gotta up the price of everything. And so we don't have an influx of gold, but we want to keep the system going. So ingeniously, like many years before, in 1913, we started they. There's a they, I don't know who, but, they started something. They started the Federal Reserve. It's smart. Like, now you have, instead of gold, you have, a fixed amount of gold, and that's what causes these boom and bust cycles. Now you have a flexible monetary system. It's like a flexible currency. Like, you can just up and down the amount that's in circulation at any point, right? Like, if you want it to go down, you start paying off debt. You want it to go up, you let out debt or increase the debt. Increasing debt just creates more dollars. So we have a system now in 1913 that, you say this dollar is worth 1 gold, like it's equivalent in gold, and then you have only 10 gold in the bank, and you lend out $10, But then another guy comes in, he's like, hey, I need $1. And you don't have gold for that $1, but you just give it anyway. So now you just gave out $20 of dollars, but you still only have 10 gold. So if everybody comes and tries to get their gold back, and you're kind of fucked, because there's not enough gold. It was all just a lie, just some leprechaun at the end of the rainbow. There was nothing there. It was just a lie. So you have that system here, and it's been going on for well over 100 years. I mean, you end up where we're at today. You have a nation that produces nothing. We produce consumers, right? Like, we produce the ability to buy other people's shit regularly, constantly. We're just buying from China. We're not producing anything, but we're just giving out dollars to everybody. That's what the Doge stuff is like showing. It's like the dollars are just going out. And, you know, you could say that it's politicians wanting to spend money frivolously for, I don't know, giving like gay lessons in Ethiopia, whatever they do. It's like, that's not because somebody believes in that like purpose. Nobody's trying to teach gay shit in other countries. That's not what it is. We need other countries to use that dollar. Like, as long as we keep this bitch going and nobody like fights it, then it just keeps going. And so when our dollars are out there, and they are a lot, everybody uses it. And not only is it out there, but like, you can't really use anything else, right? Like BRICS Nation doing a gold back standard. Like, you can't replace a bad currency with a good one, right? Like if I went to Home Depot, I need $100 tool, and I have $100 worth of gold, and I have $100. Then Home Depot was like, dude, we'll take either of those. We will take gold. We will take dollars. Nobody is giving up their gold. You're gonna keep it. It's the better currency. Even if people don't even know it, it's like, it's just the better currency. Nobody's gonna give away gold, right? It might shoot up tomorrow in dollars, but whatever. So like, nobody's giving away their gold. So if the BRICS Nation is going to make a legitimate gold back standard, and let's say the BRICS dollar went out, and now you have a BRICS dollar, which is definitely as good as gold, and then you have a US dollar, which is definitely not as good as gold. Which one would you keep? Right? This BRICS $100 is for sure worth $100 worth of gold. Why would you spend it? And so who's gonna use BRICS dollars then? Right? It's too valuable. So BRICS can't do anything. There's no currency that's like even relatively close to the US dollar. Like the US dollar, there's so much of it out there. Like, it trumps other currencies so bad, just in terms of volume, that you can't buy oil as a country without using US dollars, because there's just not enough physically of that. There's not enough of the quantity of the dollar of any other dollar. Said that badly. If China wants to use Chinese dollars, whatever that is, yuan, maybe. If China wants to buy oil from Russia in their currency, let's say in circulation there's like $1 trillion worth of yuan. I have no idea. But oil is going to cost them $2 trillion. Like, you can't actually buy oil with yuan. It physically just can't work. There's just not enough. there's always enough dollars, US dollars. There will always be enough US dollars. So then you just buy in US dollars. Why would you use gold if it's gonna, like, you want to buy oil? Let's say you happen to have enough gold, you know, whether it's possible, I have no idea. But you want to buy gold from Russia. I mean, you want to buy oil from Russia. You're China, and you have gold. That's a good idea, but now you have to bring the gold all the way over there. You have to hire people to do it. It's going to be trucks and maybe ships. There's no reason for ships, right? You're not going to fly that bitch. There's probably not enough space in that. Like, it would be extremely inconvenient. And then now that everything's digital, it's like, it's not even an afterthought as to how the money is even used physically. So there is no, like, replacing the dollar. Not that I see. And you just can't get rid of the dollar. Like, you can't even go to a gold standard because gold is too valuable. Nobody's going to use it. You can't use fucking bricks because if it was what they say it is, it's too valuable. Nobody's going to use it. They'll keep it for themselves. And if you wanted to use fucking the Indian rupee or whatever, there's not enough of Indian rupees. So we're in a situation right now where we're actually at the end of that cycle of the economic system where, like, the gold is all out there. Now, what America has done differently, what the Federal Reserve has done differently, is you can keep this bitch going forever if you continuously climb up the debt. If you continually rack up debt. So, like, a good economic system under what we have, or a good economic health under what we have, is if the debt is just constantly growing. The more it grows, the faster it grows, the better it feels, right? Having 4 beers in 10 hours is not a lot. Having 4 beers in 10 hours is, like, not a more fun experience, right? It's just, you're just sober. Having 4 beers in 1 hour is a party. So spend $3 trillion in a year is sober. Spend $6 trillion in a year, and now it's a party. And so as long as the debt in US dollar continuously climbs and other countries are using that debt, we have a breathing economic system. It's still alive, even though it feels like for you and me, everything is just way more difficult. Everything is just way more difficult because only the rich can afford stuff. Things are just more expensive because we're at the end of that economic system. This is the part where the rich get richer and all that stuff, but they're, like, the only ones keeping the economic system, like, afloat. Not afloat, but, like, let's just say they have, like, more than half of the responsibility of keeping this bitch going. And so if they're the only ones that have the dollars to spend, everything gets more expensive. There's nothing that a politician has ever done to help it, and there's nothing that they could because they can't. They never have been able to. They don't do anything. What politicians do, in my opinion, really, is they sell you a story to make you think that the economic system is the way it is because of what they're doing, or what they are doing, or, like, them, like, you know, the right blame the left and vice versa. So, like, I don't even think that any of them know. Trump might know a little bit. I mean, he's not he's a money guy. So like he was out there talking about the Federal Reserve needs to raise interest, or like bring interest rates down to negative territory or whatever. Like way back when, the first time when he was 4 or 5. And then lately he's talking about like raising interest rates was the last thing he was talking about, pretty sure. But then nothing actually happens because he doesn't do anything. He's kind of funny, but like he's not. There's no running the country like a business, because he's not the one running it. The people who set monetary policy, there's like 12 guys, 12 people. There's a woman on there, or 2. I think there's just 1. But there are these 12 people on the Federal Open Market Committee, which is part of the Federal Reserve, and there's like 4 alternates and 2 substitutes or something like that. So it's an even number, which is weird for like voting reasons, but I guess like you kind of want an overwhelming majority. Not that 1 more person in half is overwhelming, but so there's like 12 of those people, and they regulate monetary policy. And it's not like it's not like they just come in, they're like, yeah, we're gonna do that. It's like they come in, they're like, we gotta save this ship. What are we gonna do? This guy's coming from left field, this guy's coming from right field, this other guy's picking his nose. Like they're coming up with different ideas, trying to throw shit at the wall to see what sticks, and they hope they have it. Like this system is like wicked fragile, and if they fuck up, like it's not just the country that goes down. Everybody's using dollars. The world does. Like it would be the biggest economic collapse in history that I know of. I mean, Rome only had like parts of Africa, but like Europe, and you know they did the same thing where they were a producing nation, and then they got like their standard of living got too high, so then they're like trying to take over other territories. They're like spreading their gold everywhere, and then eventually like their gold becomes like less gold and just more of other shit. So it's just like more and more fake. There's like less gold in a gold coin than there was in the beginning, and they just did the same thing. And like it's always been that. And so the point of this video was really just to say that nobody's gonna save you except yourself. So like figure it out. Like I don't know what to tell you. This isn't like not like sad or anything. This is my first video, so I don't know what kind of tone to put on it yet. A little nervous. I don't even know. But the only thing you can do is just separate yourself from the poor. Like the only thing you can do is like get rich or die trying. Because being poor is only gonna get more difficult. And I don't even think being poor is like a bad thing. I mean, I'm broke for sure. But you know, you just have to get tougher if you're gonna stay poor. But if you don't want to be poor and you want like, you know, you still want like a car for your wife and you, and you still want like phones for you and your 2 kids, and you still want to like go out once a week, you want to fucking go to Dave and Buster's, get some beers, hang out with the boys, you want to fucking play PlayStation online, you're gonna have to do more than just work 1 job. It's not that bad. You can figure it out. I got kids. I'm a good dad. I hang out with them all the time when I'm home. I work a lot, but I'm home. Make it work. People have always made it work. You know what's crazy? Like, you can have cataclysmic events that happen around the world. There's always just some guy, like somewhere else, just like doing what he does yesterday, today, and then tomorrow. Right? Like you watch Game of Thrones and you got a lot of weird shit happening. But you know, you got these like fight among giants in the world that have all this influence and power and money. And you know what they never show in the fucking show is like, there was a guy from before the first episode that was probably just like farming and doing his thing, and then by the time the show ends, that same guy is probably doing the same thing throughout the whole time. Like, be that guy. Like, you can be poor and just be that guy, right? Like, shit, dude, like, flour just went up, so now you got to produce a little more to afford the flour, at least for that guy. So like, you'll be all right. Just don't be a bitch. Figure it out. But you definitely can't just, like, a good job's not gonna pay enough. I have a real good job. I get paid real well, and it's not enough. I need a part-time job. You know, I'm doing this. This is something. But I've actually been doing this 20 minutes. By we, I mean I. All right, first YouTube video down. I'll figure something out. I'll try to do the one tomorrow, maybe when I get home. Figure it out, man. You'll do all right.